What's up guys, Riley here, and today we're going to be going over some more parts we've got on the Bronco. Alright, so before we get into the video, down below in the description will be the parts we've added today, and along with that we'll have some discount codes for Mofo RC or Genix RC, Endura, and I think one other, I can't remember, but definitely save some money when buying RC parts, because obviously you save money on RC parts. You use that money to buy more RC parts. You use discount codes to save on that. And then it's just a chain reaction. And then you got a ton of RC parts. So go use my codes and save some money. Here we go, guys. So getting started, we've got a new chassis and servo set up. And a couple miscellaneous parts added to the truck. So the most noticeable from the outside, you might not be able to notice it on the camera, but the front's a little bit wider. I added some old Endura hexes, extended hexes to it, and I kept the rear skinnier so that the rear was skinnier, obviously, to kind of help get through obstacles, and the front really just to help with the side hilling and grabbing capabilities when I turn and such, and just to get a little more clearance from the body. You know, just because the Bronco has these fenders and such, and I need a little more clearance. The next thing, we're going to open the truck on up. Here we go. On the front of it, we've got a brand new Little Guy Racing Parts Tremor Servo. I am beginning to really like this servo. First real cordless servo upgrade I've done to a RC truck, other than the black C10, but that wasn't mine. I've done this personally to my personal truck, which is pretty exciting. I'm really liking this servo. Very fast, very quiet, which is really something I like in a servo, and I think most of us really do like a quiet servo. Those noisy servos are just really obnoxious. I've got my limiting strap on it, a little different than before. I changed out the rubber bands to get almost no droop. It's pretty good, but it still lets me flex really easy. The servo came with a mount, or not mount, but a horn, a servo horn, aluminum servo horn. I got that with it, and I really like that too. The problem I did have is I also got the Little Guy Racing Parts servo mount. I had some troubles fitting the servo in it. It seemed like the arches in the servo mount didn't fit the servo, so I really had to put a lot of pressure on the servo to fit it into the mount and screw it down. So I don't know if maybe I could get my body reamer and kind of scrape those edges out and see if it fits a little bit better, but not too sure. The next thing is we've got a mazzdesign titanium cheat code chassis. Very beautiful chassis. I like the skids on it. I like the magnetic option, and I like that you can still have a body hinge on it. That was something I was worried about. I can't really run a rear magnet on the body because it's a Bronco. As you can see, there's nowhere for a magnet to go. You'd have to put it on the roof or 3D print something for the magnet to actually reach the chassis, which then could add a lot of stuff that you don't really want. So the fact that it does have a hinge mounting option still is really nice. I really like that. Next thing is I've got my battery tray. I've got that almost pushed all the way down for a really low center of gravity, and it changed a lot. I'm really liking this chassis. This is the first chassis I've noticed that actually made a difference. Doing really good on the verticals, you'll see later on when we get to driving. The chassis went together really well, very well made. I was kind of anxious about the little nuts you use for like the shocks and stuff. I was worried about them kind of loosening up, coming off, whatever. But everything went together really well. Like I said, the magnets, I really love the magnets. First time having magnets on any of the truck. And the magnet is, as long as the wires aren't blocking it, the magnet's like really good. This truck is really heavy, which is also a problem with these tires. I took the foams out of the front so that I could get a little more squish and such. I'm finding that these tires are not very good with a lot of weight, so we may or may not have to change those out. The next thing is, as you can see, I've got my SCX24 receiver here. It's vertical so that it can fit flush with the body. And then my Dinky RC ESC is on the other side to run the brushless, obviously. I've got my Ergenix 450 milliamp hour batteries in it. Hopefully I can get the 900 in there soon, but I gotta make a little bit of room for that because it's a pretty big battery. But yeah, everything went together really good. I fixed the front drive shaft issue. I still have plastic drive shafts, but I did get the rear spline drive shaft piece. I got another one and put it on the front so that that's longer, so I have a little more travel in the drive shafts. And the reason I didn't get metal drive shafts is because I forgot, so my bad. Next thing we have is the mazzdesign links. I'm really liking these links. They went together really easy. I took some needle nose pliers, paper towel, put the link in and threaded the rod ends on. They're very free feeling, almost like the Endura links with O-ring taken out. They feel really good, which was something I was hoping I wouldn't have a problem with a long travel shocks. If you go on Mazz's website, if you go to the links, you can scroll through the pictures and he actually shows or tells you how to, what ends to put on what links. Once you do like one link, you'll figure it out. It's pretty easy. But yeah, I think that'll be about it. The links did give me a little longer wheelbase because they were C10 JLU links. And I had to trim the body a little bit. I'm probably going to trim it more just to make it look a little bit prettier, but not right now. Let's go ahead and take this thing out on the course. Alrighty guys, so if you have gotten this far into the video, I definitely want to thank you guys for watching, and I need some help. I'm almost done with all the builds I have and need some help on figuring what to do. Either we can upgrade this more. I've got a few upgrades that I'm hoping to do to it. Would you guys like to see that next? Would you like to see me finish the square body build? I've been planning that out. I've been kind of stumped on a few things that I'm trying to tweak, figure out with it. And would you like to see more stuff with the crawler? Not crawler, but the pulling truck. I did very good in the last video I did on it. So thank you guys, everybody that was watching, obviously. And the next thing that we could possibly do is this. It's a 10th scale, Red Cat Everest 10. Would love to do that, but I've got 4 builds that I need to finish. What would you like to see next? And back to the video. Alrighty, so starting off, we're gonna go ahead and hit a couple verticals and see how it does. This vertical, you gotta find the right line, but when it finds that line, it really sticks pretty good. Catching our skid a little bit. I really like this angled skid it's got, which helps a lot, but I'm still having troubles here. Let's see if we can find that line. There it is. As you can see, once I found that line, it pulled itself up. Alrighty, so here we've got probably going to be one of the hardest verticals that this truck can do now. This is a very tricky vertical. It doesn't seem like it, but there's kind of like a little lump in the rock on the left side, and that really throws all the trucks off. Like I said, once I find that right line, it just walks right on up it, as long as I don't drive off. A little bit of slow crawling helped me get on over. There we go. Right here is what I was talking about. It's a hump right there, and it really catches the skid plate and such, and that's what is really hard about this. A bit of a bonus crawl. We're gonna go ahead and hit right there and just kind of crawl up that way. seems like it's having a bit of a hard time. There we go. Looks like we're starting to get it. Doesn't look like it's gonna get it. Nope. So now we're just gonna do a quick course crawl. I have noticed with that wider front end, it does have a hard time turning. It could also be the fact that I don't have any foams in the front, and when I turn, it really just rolls the tire over instead of actually turn. But there we go, pretty smooth run. Go ahead and turn around. You see how it does? It is pretty bright out, so I can't see my phone screen, so I'm not too sure if it's truly pointed. So if it's not, sorry about that. There we go. A little too far left, but it'll be all right. Now that we have a longer drive shaft, I think we'll actually be able to crawl over that without it popping out. Usually that front axle will grab and come down and pops the drive shaft out. But there we go. Alrighty, so as you can see, the Bronco did really good on the course today. Like I said, this is the first chassis that I've noticed actually make a big difference. The only thing we've messed with are the Enduro chassis, which aren't bad chassis, but this blows them out of the water. Everything went together pretty well, other than a little bit of a problem I had with the servo. Servo's super quiet, super fast, like I said. There's a couple things we need to tweak. I'm thinking about doing an avatar in it, which will help with all my transmitters, because I got plenty of them. But yeah, I think that the avatar would be a good upgrade for this because it's smaller. It's probably, I think it's about the same size as the Dinky RC ESC. So I could probably put the avatar and the Dinky ESC on one side. But I don't know, not too sure. We might have to try that out. The next thing, I think we're gonna have to get some drive shafts. No matter what I do, I have a problem with those. It's just too much power to run stock drive shafts like that. But really, other than that, I think this build's about complete. Maybe some new tires that can handle the weight. Maybe some Enduro, I think they're like the Swamp Stompers. Those are pretty cool looking tires. They're kind of like a Little Guy Racing Parts Swamp King remake. They look a little not as aggressive, I think. At least the smaller ones don't look as aggressive. So we may try those out. They look pretty wide too. So nice beefy tire. Probably go nice with the Bronco. But I don't know. We'll have to try out some new tires. Everything went together great. Like I said, all the parts will be down below in the description. And use those codes, guys. You'll get plenty more RC parts if you use my code. But thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.